famous and influential rappers of all time. He only dropped 4 albums while he was alive, but he still managed to change the rap game forever. According to the official story, he was shot and killed back in 1996, but the case was never solved, and some fans think he faked his death to escape the bloody war between the East Coast and West Coast rap scenes. Today, we're breaking down all the evidence and diving straight into the question, is Tupac still alive? Before we break down why Tupac might still be alive, let's take a look at the original story. According to official reports, on September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Vegas with the head of Death Row Records, Suge Knight. They went to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson fight, and after it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby. Tupac and Suge had another dude with them named Trey. Trey saw a dude from the Southside Crips named Baby Lane in the lobby and told Pac about it. Pac walked up to the dude and asked him if he was from the South, and then punched him in the face. Pac's crew helped him stomp the dude out. Then they left after hotel security stepped in. Pac and Suge went back to the Luxor Hotel to change, then left in Suge's BMW to go to the club he owned. Around 11 p.m., they got pulled over for bumping their music too loud and driving without license plates. The plates were in the trunk, so Suge put them on, and they got back on the road. A few minutes later, a Cadillac pulled up on Pac's side of the whip, and a shooter in the back seat started letting off shots. Pac got hit in the arm, thigh, and twice in the chest, and Suge's head caught some fragments. Suge drove off and made it a mile away before he got pulled over again. The cops called for an ambulance as soon as they saw Pac and Suge, and both of them were rushed to a local hospital. Pac kept on trying to get out of bed, so the doctors put him into a coma to stop him from hurting himself. Dudes from Pac's crew, Outlaws, showed up to the hospital to guard him in case the ops came back to finish the job, and Suge got released the next morning. Pac stayed in the critical care unit for a week, and then on Friday, September 13th, he allegedly died from a heart attack after his right lung was taken out. The case was never solved, and a lot of people think the cops just didn't care enough to figure out who was behind the hit. Fans immediately connected Notorious B.I.G. to Pac's murder. Back in 1994, Pac was robbed and shot at the studio, and rumors were flying that Biggie was behind it. Pac had gone to the studio in Manhattan to record a guest verse, but 3 dudes ambushed him in the lobby, and he ended up getting shot 5 times and his jewelry snatched too. Biggie and his crew were in the same studio when it all went down, but Biggie said it just happened to be a coincidence that he was in the studio. He couldn't really say who really had something to do with it at the time, so he just kind of leaned the blame on me. But according to the rumors, the story doesn't end there. Ever since Pac was declared dead back in '96, theories about him being alive have been popping up all the time. And Suge Knight has said in interviews that Pac was actually doing great the last time he saw him. He said, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can go from doing well to doing bad. Then in 2018, Suge's son hopped on Instagram and claimed that Pac was still alive and living in Malaysia. After his first post about it, Suge Jr. posted a screenshot of a text exchange where someone allegedly told him, "You said too much, time for you to go." Then he posted a bunch of pictures of Pac with celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. Suge Jr. made it sound like somebody was after him for leaking the info. On the pic of Beyonce and Pac, he captioned it with, "He never left us. They'll be after me soon," shaking my head. Some fans thought it was just a publicity stunt for clout, but others say that it makes sense and that Suge Knight's son would know more than anyone about what really went down. Back in 2014, Suge told TMZ,
"Tupac not dead. Tupac not dead. He was dead. They'll be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar."
6 months after the video dropped, Suge almost died when a gunman caught him at a nightclub and shot him 6 times. Knight wouldn't tell the police anything, but a lot of people think it was connected to him talking to TMZ about Pac. Suge isn't Pac's only homie who thinks he's still alive. In 2010, a rapper named Treach was interviewed before a show. Treach and Pac were tight back in the day and worked on the track 5 Deadly Venoms together. After Treach's interview was over, the cameraman put the camera on the floor, but it was still recording. You can hear the host ask Treach about Pac's death, and Treach says, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba, man." Pac being in Cuba is probably the most popular theory. His aunt, Asada Shakur, has been living there since 1984 when she got convicted for murder in the U.S. and had to escape. In 2018, a website called Reporters posted a photo with Pac allegedly partying with Rihanna in Cuba. Some people say the picture is fake, but a lot of fans believe it's real. The Cuban theory is so popular that Kendrick Lamar even referenced it on his damn album. On the track Element, he says, Mr. 1 through 5, that's the only logic. Fake my death, go to Cuba, that's the only option. Eminem raps about it too on the D12 track, Freestyle, where he said, a lot of talk and rumors, honest. Who's the hottest? To be honest, hip-hop ain't been the same since Tupac moved to Cuba on us. In the 2000s, a site called Hollaback Exclusive posted a video that allegedly shows Tupac chilling in the parking lot in Cuba. The video starts with a dude saying,
rumors is true. Tupac is I just seen him in the studio, man. He just did.
Then the camera pans over to show a group of dudes hanging out in the parking lot. The cameraman zooms in on the dude who's allegedly Pac, but the video is too blurry to really tell what's going on. Another video from Cuba surfaced later that was allegedly shot in 2004. In the clip, Suge Knight is chopping it up with a dude who looks a lot like Pac, but you only see him from the back and the side. Suge Knight also says the situation with Pac's body was sketchy. Back in 2012, he went on a radio show and said, maybe the question is, Pac's not really dead, Pac's somewhere else. According to him, nobody ever saw Pac's body. He said, nobody seen Tupac dead. The person who supposedly cremated Tupac, the guy got about $3 million personally from me. And next thing I know, I never heard from the guy or seen him again. He retired and left. Another weird detail is that the official coroner report allegedly listed Tupac as 215 pounds. Pac was a slim dude who was only 5 feet and 9 inches tall though, and most sources say he actually weighed around 160. The coroner being off by 50 pounds is definitely suspicious, but it's not enough to prove anything concrete. A dude named Rick Boss claims Pac actually escaped from Vegas in a helicopter. According to him, Pac knew somebody was going to try and take him out, so he used a body double to fake his death. Boss is making a movie about how he thinks it all went down. He told a Vegas news channel the movie is about Tupac actually escaping from the University Medical Center here in Vegas and relocating to New Mexico and getting protection from the Navajo tribe. One of the wildest theories about Pac is that he planned everything that went down and left clues for his fans to find. Before he died, Pac had been going by the name Machiavelli, which was a tribute to an Italian philosopher named Niccolò Machiavelli that Pac was a fan of. He even shouted Machiavelli out on the track Trading War Stories, where he said, criminal ties for centuries, a legend in my own rhymes. So it was whispered when they mentioned Machiavelli was my tutor, Donald Goines my father figure. 2 months after Pac allegedly died, his album, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, dropped under the name Machiavelli. The album cover shows Tupac nailed to the cross, and instead of Suge being listed as the executive producer, it was credited to Simon. In Christianity, Simon is the first apostle to see Jesus rise from the grave. And in the video for the album's lead single, Hail Mary, Pac comes back from the dead to kill his enemies. Fans think Pac left clues behind in his lyrics too. On the track, I Ain't Hard to Find, Pac said, I heard rumors I died, murdered in cold blood, dramatized. Pictures of me in my final state, you know mama cried. But that was fiction. Some coward got the story twisted. And on the outro for the album Better Days, he keeps repeating the line, expect me, like you expect Jesus to come back. I'm coming. Tupac still being alive is one of the most popular conspiracy theories in the world. Everything about the night he allegedly died is sketchy. And a lot of people who knew him think he made it out of Vegas alive. There's probably a lot of fake pictures and videos of Pac going around, but that doesn't mean he couldn't really be alive somewhere. The biggest detail in the whole case is that allegedly nobody ever saw his body, and the coroner report sounds like it was describing a completely different person. Fans are hoping that one day Pac will come back and drop a new record. But if he really did fake his own death to escape all the fame and drama, he'll probably stay underground and just live in peace.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to my podcast. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And in today's podcast show, we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. I know a lot of people talked about this, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people who are talking about it weren't even around when Pac was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm 45 years old now. Like, you know what I mean? When Pac died in 96, I was a senior in high school. You know what I'm saying? So I was around when Pac was doing his thing, when he was still alive. You know what I mean? So a lot of cats are just getting stuff off the internet about Pac but I'm gonna talk about it from my perspective. You know what I mean? Being a fan of Pac, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent. Now that I'm older, a lot of stuff he was doing that I don't agree with now today at 45 years old. But when I was younger, you know what I mean, the things he did were very impressionable on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember when Pac was doing his thing, he had everybody wearing the bandanas around their head. Like, you know what I'm saying? People walking around up and down Buffalo, you know what I'm saying, on the east side wearing bandanas. Like, you know what I mean? And wearing Carl Canine. You know what I'm saying? Huge baggy pants, you know, ridiculously big, you know what I'm saying? I remember that, you know what I mean? I remember that. And people wearing the Averex jackets and all that, you know what I'm saying? But Tupac Shakur died September 13th, 1996, you know what I'm saying? The whole situation with his death has been sketchy from the jump, you know what I mean? I remember when the internet was really young, and, you know, the internet is not what it back then what it is today. It was slow to find information. It was kind of hard. Google was in its infancy at the time. I think Google started in 95. Pac died in 96, so Google was like a year old or something like that. You know what I mean? You had search engines like Safari that's been around forever. You know what I'm saying? So I remember seeing the autopsy photo. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that was sketchy. It's been a lot of things that surrounded this whole situation that was kind of iffy. Like, okay, so he died in 96. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I remember coming home from my cousin's house, and I remember I cried that day, you know what I'm saying, when he died. You know what I mean? I cried, you know what I'm saying? Because it felt like at the time, it felt like we lost Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey, you know what I'm saying? It felt like we lost one of those type of cats, like, you know what I mean? I cried that day, you know what I'm saying? I cried. Not because because he died, not only that, but, you know, he was the voice of the youth at that time. So, but, you know, there's been a lot of things that been happening after his death that made me go, you know, me personally, I think that he did not pass away in 1996. You know what I'm saying? And that's my personal opinion. You know what I mean? It's just too much. It's just too much information pointing towards him still being alive. You know, I believe that a lot of these entertainers fake their death to get out the spotlight. I don't even believe Michael Jackson's dead. You know what I'm saying? I don't even believe Michael Jackson's dead. You know, they had him floating in a helicopter, Michael Jackson, and then they had his dead body in the helicopter, and the funeral, you know, ushers, come on, man. They touching on the casket like he's the next Mike. Like, come on, man. There's a lot of stuff in this world. You know, the world is a stage, man, and, you know, you don't know what to believe, you know what I'm saying? And now that, you know, the internet has became what it is today, and you're getting information so rapidly, like, I can definitely see him doing that. He was very intelligent. He read a lot. Like I say, he was into the Machiavelli guy. He studied the art of war. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats study the art of war. You know, Pac was intelligent, man. You know, when he did things like when he made a move, it was a chess move. It wasn't a checkers move. So when he did certain things, it meant something. He was making a move to the next move. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when Pac did stuff, it wasn't a checkers move. It was a chess move. And, you know, it's not hard to fake your death. It's not, especially if you got the ends. You got the ends to do it. It's not hard to fake your death. You got the bread. You can pay off. You know what I'm saying? This is Las Vegas. Like, come on. You talking about Las Vegas? Las Vegas. Come on. What city is more corrupted than Las Vegas at that time at 96? Come on. You mean you tell me you can't pay off? People do it today. People would not even half the money that Pac had fake their death to get insurance money today. That not people are not even famous. People don't even have millions of dollars, or somebody with millions of dollars to back them on that. People are doing it with less, are faking their death and collecting insurance money. So how the hell are you gonna tell me he can't do it? You know what I'm saying? How the hell are you gonna tell me he can't pull that off? And him being who he is? Come on, man. Now, is he alive today? I don't know. He could be. You know what I'm saying? Or he can be, he could be no longer with us. Who knows? It's so much to this story, man, that, they say they have seen him in Cuba. He's been seen in Cuba. He's been seen in parts of Africa. They went so far to say he's been living in somebody's basement in California. You know what I'm saying? I think that he did not pass away in 96. And what happened to the one witness that said that he left in a helicopter? This whole investigation with his death, is sketchy. You're seeing photos of him sitting in the car before he was supposedly shot without the keys in the ignition. Every time you talk to the people who arrived on the scene when Pac was shot in the BMW, you know what I'm saying? Their stories change, you know what I mean, about what events happened when they pulled them out the vehicle. And not only that, the BMW, there's like two different BMWs that you've seen. You've seen one BMW in one photo, and then next time you see in another photo is a different BMW, different style, different year. So who knows, man? And then the white Cadillac, you're in Vegas. Where did this white Cadillac go? You know what I'm saying? This white Cadillac just completely disappeared out of the thin air. It's just so much to the story. Like I said, if you can, if you have the bread, you can prop up a crime scene and make it look like a crime scene. You know what I'm saying? They do it in movies all the time. You know what I mean? So for him to pull this off, it's not out of the ordinary. People think oh my God, how did Pac pull this off? When you got friends like Mike Tyson and you got Suge, these cats had bread back in those times. Mike Tyson had millions back then. You know what I'm saying? Suge Knight had millions back then. You know what I'm saying? And Pac had a lot of enemies, man. Let's keep it all the way official. He put a lot of signs in his music. His last album, Machiavelli, he had all types of clues and signs, and he was warned with cats in the streets. I'm not gonna even say their name in this podcast episode. In one song he said he got 50 enemies plotting his death. He was talking about who are the 50 enemies. So he had a tag on his head, man. He knew that. He told a lot of cats, rappers, fellow, employee rappers, you know what I'm saying, that he wasn't going to live long. How do you know you're not going to live long? He had this plotted out, you know what I'm saying, from the jump. He had it in his music, you know what I'm saying, early on, before Machiavelli. He was putting this stuff. He started putting these type of things into his music on the, Me Against the World. Yeah, when Me Against the World came out, you know what I mean? That's when he started putting clues in the music. You know what I'm saying? That's when he knew. So much to this, man. You know what I'm saying? Then his mom's had an interview after he passed away, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? She was talking about he's at peace. He, you know what I'm saying? He was tired. She didn't say anything about him passing away. She was talking to him and like he was still here, and he's living a different life. And you know what I'm saying? People are looking for him to come back. If he is alive, man, he's not gonna come back. He's not gonna come back, guys. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Why would he come back? Why would he come back and drop an album? You know what I mean? When he got cats that can do that for him. There's been also too rappers that sound like him. You know what I'm saying? Casanova, the rapper Casanova. He spelled it with a K. I don't know if anybody know him, but he's got music. He sounds just like Pac. Who was the other rapper that sounded like Pac, man? Hold up, man. I'm about to look this up real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. Hold on, see if I can find it. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's see. I know Casanova was one. Let's see. Let's see if this is. Nah, not this one. This one's different. I just want a list of rappers that sound like. I know Casanova was one of them, but it was another cat from the West Coast. Let's see. What was his name? Oh man, I can't remember his name, guys, but I'm going to move on. And then, I'm gonna move on. But then it was videos of with the Outlaws, and it was hidden scenes where Pac was in the video in the background, and I seen this one video of the Outlaws where if you lighten up your TV to the highest, brightest level, you can see Pac hiding in the shade of the video. So I don't know, man. Like, this whole thing is weird and crazy, and Pac is like the Elvis of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Is he alive? Isn't he alive? And like, it's crazy how still to this day people are still talking about Tupac Shakur. Still to this day, Tupac is looked at as revolutionary. He changed the game. You know what I'm saying? As far as hip hop, do I agree with everything he did? No, not at 45 and not having my third eye open. No, I think he did a lot of things to hurt us too as well. And the whole sagging your pants culture, he started that. You know what I'm saying? Sagging your pants. And he tried to explain that it was a form of saying F you to society because of how they treat us. Being an 18-year-old, that makes sense. Being a 45-year-old, that don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense to me. This whole sagging thing, he started that. You know what I mean? The sagging thing. And, Pac was like, he was like Jekyll and Hyde. Like, one minute he was disrespecting women, next minute he got love for women. You know what I'm saying? Jekyll and Hyde. You know what I mean? He gave you the good and the evil. You know what I'm saying? He was never just one way. He was always to the extreme or not to the extreme. He was never in the middle. You know what I mean? So you got two sides of Pac. He was a Gemini. So you got two Pacs. That's why they call him Tupac, because you got two Pacs. You got the nutcase and you got the regular. You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of people say that, he didn't become Bishop Tupac until he played the role in Juice, which I think that's his best movie. His first movie and his best movie was Juice, when he played Bishop. And again, what is a bishop? He is a moving piece in chess. I don't know too much about chess, but a bishop is a moving piece in chess, not checkers. You know what I'm saying? Again, when Pac lived his life and moves that he made, he didn't play checkers. He played chess. So, being that he come from the background of a Black Panther mother and stepfather, you know what I'm saying? Mutulu Shakur. He knew that he was a target from the jump. You know what I'm saying? He knew he was a target from the jump by the system. So, knowing that he's going to be a target from the jump from the system, you know what I'm saying? He knew he wasn't going to be on this planet too long, and he knew that he had to devise a plan to either fake his death or really get taken out of here. You know what I'm saying? Again, People have said he's alive. Suge Knight said that he was alive. What do Suge Knight have to gain from lying? Nothing, because he already lost the record company. At that time, his record company was sold to a Jewish lady around that time. So he didn't have the record company no more. And he didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't going to earn any money from anybody's catalog anymore. So what would he lie about? Know what I mean? What reason do he have to lie? And then his, who else said it? Suge Knight's son, I guess, said it, that he was alive. A couple other people said it. But what's so interesting about this whole Tupac, and it continues to get even more crazy, is that a former police officer, now Suge Knight said he paid $3 million to help get Tupac, to help Tupac fake his death. So boom, I bumped into this article that was posted on, let's see, this article was posted on, let's see, September 21st of 2018. And it reads, "Is Tupac still alive? Retired police officer claims he was paid to help rapper fake his death." The rapper died back in '96 after a drive-by shooting, or did he? So this article goes on to say, a retired police officer hint back in 2015 that Tupac might still be alive. David Mayers claims he was paid $1.5 million to help the star fake his own death. Now remember, Suge said he paid about $3 million to help Tupac fake his death. So it continues on. It says Tupac Shakur, or Tupac as he was known on stage, died after he was hit in a drive-by shooting back in 1996 when he was 25 years old. But Myers says he wants the world to know the truth, but Myers said he wants the world to know the truth and said the world needs to know what I did. I am ashamed that I let a price be put on my word, and I cannot die without letting the world know. So I guess this police officer was on his deathbed. You know what I'm saying? And usually when people who've done things that affect their conscience, and they're on their deathbed, what do you have to lose? You're on your deathbed. I mean, they can't kill you because you're dying. You know what I'm saying? So people will, spew the truth. You know what I'm saying? So continue on with this. He claims Suge Knight played a big part in helping it happen. Again, remember Suge Knight said he paid $3 million. All right? Keep that in mind, guys. Over 30 people were reportedly paid to help fake his death. 30 people. So now Suge Knight saying he paid off the hospital. He paid off police officers. Everybody's in for the taking when it comes to bread. People will, take the bread. Over 30 people. So does that mean the coroner officers were paid? Now remember, in an interview, Suge Knight said he paid this coroner guy $1.5 million. Or was it $1 million or something like that? And the guy retired and disappeared. That was a coroner. The guy who supposedly did the autopsy on Tupac's body. He just mysteriously disappeared after he was paid. This whole story gets stranger and stranger every year. Like, people are coming out the woodwork. A lot of people have passed away that were in the circle, intermediate circle with Suge and Tupac. Tupac's cousin was killed in New Jersey, and he was the only witness that said that he's seen who shot Tupac. He told the police before he was murdered, and all of a sudden, a month later, after he was getting ready to tell the police that he knew who was the shooter, a month later, 2 months later, something like that, he dies in New Jersey in a accidental shooting by a friend. Like, come on, man, this whole story, I forgot that cat's name. What was his name? Was it Gaddafi? No, not Gaddafi. I forgot that cat's name, but he was mysteriously shot 2 months after, he was going to tell the police who was the shooter, because he was in the back. I guess he was in the back seat or the car behind him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So let me continue on to this article. So over 30 people were reportedly paid to help fake his death, including police, medics, and various witnesses. Myers even claims Tupac paid $50,000 for a body double to be taken to the morgue. It is not the first time there have been theories that he may not have died. So this kind of lines up to what, the whole discrepancy with the autopsy report, it being 50 pounds overweight and him being taller and weighing more in the autopsy report. Now, if Pac paid $50,000 in the autopsy report saying that he's 50 pounds heavier than his original weight, autopsy report said that he was 215 pounds. Now, how the hell you go from 165, I think Pac was, or on a good day, 175 to 250 pounds overnight? And he's saying that Pac paid $50,000 for a body double. Kind of lines up. I don't know. And where you can read this article, guys, is let me get this. Is www.mirror mirror.co.uk, and you can type in Tupac still alive, retired police officer. So I'm gonna continue on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this whole story, man. Like, I've been researching this for forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been watching videos. I've been reading articles online about this forever. It never gets old because there's always some type of like new twist to it. You know what I'm saying? It never gets old, man. And I can't believe that this story is still going on now. Like, again, like when he died, I was in high school. I was a senior in high school when he passed away. And for people to still be talking about him is just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of impact he had on the world. Let me see. So, okay, 50,000. Okay, so it continues on to say, however, the mysterious deepens as it later emerges. One of the original websites that reported Myers' extraordinary tale used a fake image to report the police officer when he was on his deathbed in 2015, plunging on the conspiracy theories into disarray. On September 7, 1996, Shakur was shot multiple times in a drive-by shoot at the intersection of Flamingo and Colvin Lane in Las Vegas, Nevada. He had been at the Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon boxing match and been involved in an altercation with a gang member, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson. Shot while en route to nightclub, or a car pulled up alongside Shakur while he was standing with his head out of a sunroof. An unknown occupant shot him, hitting him in the chest, pelvis, right hand, thigh, and lung. The shocking news he might still be alive came just months after it was reported a film about his life was due to start filming. In early 2015, producer Randall Emmett said, "The script is great and we're ready to make the movie. We're just preparing the logistics." Emmett added, "I think our story, especially like a lot of biopics in hip-hop space, will at least tease the beginning of his life, kind of tease his beginnings and kind of the people around him. Then go into the key years leading up to the pinnacle of his career. Those 3 or 4 years of his rise and the empire he built. Tupac Shakur has sold over 75,000 records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. Shakur was the voice participant in the so-called East Coast, West Coast hip-hop rivalry, becoming involved in conflicts with other rappers, producers, and record label staff members, and most notably the Notorious B.I.G. and label Bad Boy Records. Everybody know about the East and West Coast thing, you know what I'm saying? But that was the same thing, you know what I'm saying, they did to the Black Panthers to break up the Black Panthers. The East Coast Black Panthers versus the West Coast. They said it was the same tactic, but everybody fell for it. Now, I mean, Pac was getting ready to get into politics. You know what I'm saying? He was getting ready to get into the political aspect of his life. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how this guy was only 25 years old, man, and he did so much at 25 years old. Like, when you talk about Pac, you think he was, you know, in his 50s or 60s on all the stuff he done. He was a music artist. You know what I'm saying? The ladies liked him. He was an actor. You know what I mean? He was political. You know, he was only 25 years old. He did so much, man. And this is what I be saying to a lot of people that, you know, said he can't do this and that. Is BS, because this guy lived to only be 25, and look at all the stuff he accomplished at 20. Just imagine if he lived another 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he was getting ready to get into the political side of things. He was getting ready to start his own political party, and that's where you got problems, when you start messing around with politics. You know what I'm saying? So him, people don't know too as well, you know, him and Hammer became real close and was getting ready to join forces politically. You know what I'm saying? Hammer, like I said, you know, Pac had a lot of friends that had bread at that time. Hammer still had some bread, like, you know what I'm saying? He had Suge, you know, all these people were gonna do the political thing, like, you know what I mean? He was starting to get people into, you know, voting, you know what I'm saying? And he was gonna run for office, you know what I mean? Eventually run for office, you know what I'm saying? And take a political seat. So powers to be definitely couldn't have that, you know what I mean? But this whole story gets weirder and weirder by the year. Like I said, man, everybody knows about the old, you know, beef. It really was no beef, you know what I'm saying? There's you know, different stories going back and forth on what he really felt about B.I.G. Him and Big were close friends, man. You know what I'm saying? Big came up under Pac. You know what I mean? He used to be his sort of like his hype man, and Big used to open up shows for Pac. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere Pac was, when he came to New York, you would see Big. You know what I'm saying? Big used to sleep on his couch and all that. And Pac put it in his songs when he was going that big, that he used to sleep on his couch before Big popped off. You know what I'm saying? Pac had an issue with Big was when, you know, when Pac got locked up, you know, Big started acting funny style, him and Puffy, and, you know, wasn't looking out when he got locked up. That's the issue Pac had with Big. It wasn't the shooting in Quad Studio. Know what I mean? It wasn't the shooting in was it Quad Studio where Pac got shot in the elevator? I think so. It wasn't the shooting there. It was when Big started acting funny style, when he started getting some money from, you know, when his first album dropped and it sold, it went platinum, and, you know, then Puffy started labeling him the King of New York and all that. You know what I mean? When Pac was locked up, Big wasn't showing Pac no love, but, you know, Pac showed him the game. Like, Pac showed him and taught him how to form his songs, you know what I'm saying? To cater to the women, because if the women buy the music, the men would buy the music. So Pac showed him and taught him how to form his songs that cater more to the women, because when Big, that's a fact, that's real. Because when Big first hit the scene, he was talking gangster stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Party and Bull, remember that song? So Big didn't write songs about the ladies. That wasn't until Pac had his influence on him, know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You can see Pac's influence all over Big's first album. Ready to Die. You can see Pac's influence all over that album. You know what I'm saying? That's when Pac had a problem. That's when the Art of War came out of Pac. You know what I mean? That's when the Art of War came out of Pac. But what I don't get with a lot of record companies and brothers and sisters that's in the record industry, especially in the hip hop, how come we just can't all come together and, you know, join Voltron and get all the bread? You know what I'm saying? Why is it only got to be one, you know, record company on top? You know what I mean? At a time, how come we can't, you know, we all join forces like Voltron and do it ourselves? That's what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? Why is it only got to be one record company? Why is it only got to be one, you know, funny comedian at a time like Kevin Hart? Why is it only got to be one? You know what I'm saying? Why is it got to be only one, you know, famous basketball player at one time, or one or two? Why? How come it can't be a multiple? Why is it only got to be one at a time? That's what I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, this whole story is, I don't know. I still can't believe that, you know, things are still coming out. People say that he's alive. You know, somebody on their deathbed, a police officer on his deathbed. Why would he have to make up something like that? You know what I'm saying? He's on his way out of here. You know what I mean? Making his transition to the other realms. Well, why would he have to make that up? I mean, he's on his deathbed. So why would he make that up? Why? Why would he lie about that? You know what I mean? But this whole story is crazy. Like I said, I personally believe that he did fake his death in 1996. And I think a lot of entertainers do it. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of entertainers, man, listen, your average everyday person does stuff like this. If an average everyday person who don't even have the connections or bread like that can pull it off, what makes you think Tupac can't pull it off? What makes you think Michael Jackson can't pull it off? Michael Jackson was worth billions. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson owned half of Sony. You know what I'm saying? He owned the Beatles catalogs. He owned other catalogs on top of the Beatles. Like, Michael Jackson was worth billions on paper, man. Like, come on, man. Only thing Michael didn't have was the liquid. You know what I'm saying? The liquid bread. But on paper, he was worth billions. Like, all you had to do was sell off assets and get the bread. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people are rich on paper. They don't have the liquid, the money they can get to now. They don't have the money accessible right now. It's locked up in different things, and you know the vibes. You know how it goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? But who knows, man? Who knows? I'm gonna stay on top of this story. You know what I'm saying? See if any more new information comes out about Pac. You know what I'm saying? Who knows where Pac is at? A lot of people say he's in Mexico. Again, a lot of people say he's in Cuba, in Africa. You know what I'm saying? No, who knows, man? A lot of people say he's in Brazil, Dominican Republic. You know what I mean? I seen another video. Guy was showing his picture around Dominican Republic, and people saying, "Oh yeah, I seen that guy around. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah." So who knows, guys? Who knows? But yo, that is my take in this podcast episode. Please share this with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I highly appreciate it. But that's my take. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9, and I just want to say peace and love to everybody. Take care. One.